everybody, and welcome back to But Did You Die with the Jet Sisters? This is episode 20. We are so glad you're here. I'm Angie, and this is Rachel.
And it's 1,000 degrees in my house.
Yeah, Rachel's AC broke in addition to her pool pump. So I guess you'd say everything in Rachel's life is falling apart. And Florida, 3 exclamation points, is not going so great right now.
Our sprinklers are broken. The pool is broken. What else is going wrong? Yeah, the AC doesn't work.
That's a lot. That's a lot when it's record heat and drought. I guess it's not drought for you guys. You guys got some rain, but right?
Yes, it rained for one day, and it was supposed to rain all week, and it just hasn't been.
Yeah, I think like Fort Lauderdale is getting a 500-year flood, and the rest of the state is suffering gravely from drought. Our grass can only be described as crunchy.
That was pretty bad.
And it's hot. And it's 1,100,000 degrees. It's been in the 90s.
Who are you telling? I'm sitting in this room baking. I know.
Yeah. The good news on my end is I finally got an awesome functioning air conditioner in my she shed. And it's at like 77. It's a bit too chilly for me. I have to like put on a little sweater. So
you went to the dentist this morning, which is stupid. If anybody knows me, I think the dentist is a scam. I know it's a scam. I had a dentist appointment on Friday and I canceled it. And Ben doesn't know. And if Ben knew, he'd be really mad. But Ben does not listen to this podcast, so we are safe. No, going to the dentist isn't real. It's the biggest scam. I didn't go to the dentist for like 6 years in a row. And then I went and they were like, wow, your teeth are amazing. And I'm like, I know. Sorry, dentists.
I don't necessarily think that the dentist is a scam because there's so many other scammier scams, but there's a lot about it similar to just like healthcare in the US that makes no sense. And I don't necessarily know that we really need to get 2 cleanings a year and blah, blah, blah.
Right. No. Listen. Okay, you're going to clean my teeth 2 times a year. I clean my teeth every day. What are we doing here, people? And you'll notice the dentist will never say to you, oh, you need to floss more. The dentist will say, oh, have you been flossing? And then depending on your answer is how they respond. Because, again, scam. One time I didn't floss for a long time, but I told him I did, and their response was, oh, I can tell. So you can't tell me that the dentist isn't all made up. Clean your own teeth.
No, can we please get to the crux of this, which is that you are a baby and you're afraid of the dentist, which, real talk, I also hate going to the dentist. But today when they were doing all my stuff, which normally I'm gripping the armrests and I'm just like, I hate it here, even though it's nothing. It's just a teeth cleaning. I started thinking about book number 2 and like plotting it out in my head, and it went by way faster. So I just like distracted myself and it was fine. Also, then they were going to do the x-rays. You know, it's been several years, I guess, since I've had x-rays. I hate that part. They don't have the new stuff. When we went to Costa Rica, you bite on a little thing. They go all the way around your head. You have like full amazing everything. My dentist here has the cardboard things that you have to shove a whole thing in your mouth, stick the cardboard in your mouth. It like cuts your mouth. Yeah, no, it's like 1994 up in my dentist office. Yes, I'm serious. No, we did it twice in the same spot and it hurts and I hate it. And neither time did it take. So she spent probably 15 minutes trying to fix the machine. I'm like, it might be time for a new machine. And then they never even ended up doing it. So I didn't even get x-rays. But here is the one good thing about the dentist, aside from you might get like a dum-dum or like a free toothbrush or something. At least 5 times. My hygienist said, your home care is excellent. I don't see anything wrong with your teeth. Like, she just kept being like, oh yeah. Oh, your teeth are great. And when the dentist came in to do his 30 seconds of approval of my teeth, he was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And aren't they good? Her teeth look good. Do I floss? I absolutely don't floss.
Okay, so you got your A+, so of course you had a good time.
Happy.
And there you go. Did they ask you if you flossed or did they tell you?
They didn't ask because I was waiting based on our previous conversations to find out, I was going to test them on that. But they were just like, your teeth are the best teeth we've ever seen ever. And I was like, ding. So
Yeah, I'm over
I'm
the
calling
dentist.
Ben. I'm telling on you.
Do not tell him. He's gonna be so mad.
Somebody's going to
I've
tell
been
Ben.
going.
We have literal like a dozen of listeners that probably know Ben, and they might
Don't
tell him.
Guys, don't tell Ben that I canceled my dentist appointment. He'll be so mad.
Well,
Um.
anyway, what else do you want to talk about this week? Shall we move into
Oh
travel
no,
news?
no,
Oh,
no! I'm not done talking about the dentist. I'm not scared of the dentist. It's boring and a waste of time. That's why I don't want to go. Now we can move on. Boo on the dentist. Hey, do you like going to the dentist? Because you're weird. Anyway, travel news.
okay, we have a lot of travel news from Disney this week. They had so much to talk about. I figured let's just dive in. And thing number one, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, we went to a media event that was kind of announcing that Splash Mountain was going to be becoming rebranded and becoming Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Do you remember we went to
Yes,
that?
that
And it
was,
was like,
yeah. It was literally a year ago this week.
no, it wasn't.
Uh huh.
That was
That
that?
was it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so a year ago we went to that. Well, this month, finally, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is relaunching, or I should say Splash Mountain is relaunching as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that's kind of exciting. I'm all for a rebrand. Actually, true confession, I've never seen The Princess and the Frog. Have you?
If I did, it was when it came out, and so a very long time ago.
Well, yeah, I might have seen it when I was younger, but I don't recall. It's not one of the ones that's like in my rotation that came out right when I was a kid, like
Wait,
Aladdin or Lion King.
you saw it when you were younger? It came out like what, 7 years ago when you were 35?
No,
Uh huh.
no, no. Oh my gosh, I was 35 7 years ago. Oh my
I
gosh,
don't
I need
know.
to go
No.
buy a plot in the cemetery. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Are you finding this out when this?
Yeah. What year is it? I'm so wrong.
Uh-huh.
It came out in 2009.
Which I was also not a child, but it was not 7 years ago. So, ha ha ha.
Yeah. Fair. Okay. I was wrong, guys. I was wrong one time.
You brought it up. I didn't
Challenge.
even point out your wrongness this time like I usually do. I would have
Well, I
just let
had
you
to
have it.
stop you from saying when I was a child, I didn't watch that movie.
But Tiana's Bayou Adventure, it's a long ride too. If it's like 6 or 7 minutes, you may get wet, which is great for hot, hot days in the summer in Central Florida. So that opens officially to the public on June 28th. But I have a feeling if you're going in the next couple of weeks, they'll probably be previewing it and
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So that's exciting. Do you like Splash Mountain? I can't remember if when you were a kid, did we trick you into that one?
You did trick me into Splash Mountain as a child.
That's
Today,
a
as I
lot of
sit here
lying.
as an adult, I do like it. I enjoy Splash Mountain, and they didn't change any of the ride track. It's the same ride, just themed differently.
Different songs and such. Yeah, cool. Well, that's good. That's good representation for the Tianas of the world and
Mm-hmm.
the little youngsters to see a princess like them. So that's very exciting. Can't wait to
Mm-hmm.
go on that. Won't be in the summer, that's for darn sure. I mean, unless we
See
get
you in
invited back, and
January.
then yeah, and then we will. So this is something interesting. Governor DeSantis and Disney finally came to an agreement on this prolonged years-long fight they've been having, and Disney has agreed to invest $17 billion in Florida, in the Florida area. So this isn't like Disney everywhere. This is just Disney Florida. $17 billion in a 15-year agreement, and this has been like a years-long legal dispute. Disney, it was a whole thing. If you're in Florida, you probably know more about it than some others, but they renamed the tourist district because Disney kind of had its own thing going on where they're like their own police department and their own
Mm-hmm.
tax district, like all sorts of complicated stuff from OG days of Disney, and that all got kind of whack with DeSantis. But they've renamed it Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, and officially now everything's back on track, and I guess Disney and the state of Florida are friends again.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure there's so much more to it than that, but that's about as far as I'm willing to dive into it because I don't want to know what everybody's saying on the internet because everybody's mean and I don't like it. The other Disney news I have that is super duper exciting is Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point opened last week. And do you want to know what this is? This is Disney's new island getaway. So when you go on a Disney cruise, you used to go, you go to all the normal ports, Nassau and wherever, but you would also stop at Castaway Key, which is Disney's private island. It's a whole island just for Disney cruise ship folks off the southern tip of Abaco, which is where I got married, incidentally. Great place. Love it. So now they have a new one. Everybody's calling it Disney's new private island. It is not, in fact, Disney's private island. It is a little piece of a very, very long Bahamian island called Eleuthera. There's only 11,000 people that live on Eleuthera, maybe. So having several thousand come in every day, Disney put in, oh gosh, how much money? A lot. $250 to $400 million in this little resorty area. So if you do take a Disney cruise, you will probably get to stop at Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, which is an exceptionally long name that could very much better have been like Pirate Island or something, but like Castaway Key,
Hey, speaking of Pirate Island, where is Johnny Depp's private island? Because if it was Eleuthera, which it's not, like he could just be running on the beach as Jack Sparrow.
It's not. His island is in the Exuma Keys, so kind of nearish there, but not really. Like you wouldn't drive by it on your cruise ship. It's pretty far from there.
But saying there's a chance.
Well, you know who you might see in Eleuthera? Probably not hanging around like the Disney resort area, but you might see Lenny Kravitz because he has a house in Eleuthera. And lots of famous people go to this little island off the other side of Eleuthera called Harbor Island. And it is le fancy. It's like the Hamptons, but in the Bahamas. And everybody's super like preppy and the food is delicious and it's fancy and cute. And they also have incredible conch salad. So we went there a couple years ago. Yeah.
I love it. I love it because I love Disney cruises. And you have one more thing to say.
I do have one more thing to say because I think it's important as somebody who loves the Bahamas as much as I do, that I absolutely do not love outside companies coming in and buying an island and, commercializing the whole place. These out islands of the Bahamas are so special. I do appreciate that what they did is they bought a 700-acre piece of land in Eleuthera, which nobody else was going to do anything with, but still there could be not economic impact. There could be environmental impact, blah, blah, blah. But they donated 190 of those acres that they paid for to the Bahamas to make it a national park. So good job, Disney. Like I appreciate that effort. And I think that's how you got to do it. If you are going to be having your private resort islands, you got to give back to the country in a really useful way. And so I'm appreciative that they did that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm assuming more jobs have been created on that specific island now because there's...
Yes, there's more jobs. I was looking at some of the stuff that they have on the island, and they've got a lot of nods to Bahamas culture. So they have like a Junkanoo show. They have local Bahamian artists from Eleuthera who have their little shop set up. So you can get all these hand-woven straw goods and you can get paintings and all that. So it's not quite the same as if you landed smack in the middle of Eleuthera and were just cruising around. But guess what? Eleuthera can't actually handle that. Eleuthera does not have the infrastructure. They don't have the buses. They cannot, with 11,000 people on the entire island, and it is a very long island, like 60 miles, 100 miles. It's long, and people are really spread out. There's just not the infrastructure. So you're getting to see a place that a lot of people don't get to see, which is very cool. And they're giving nods to the culture, which I appreciate because, I love the Bahamas.
I love that. I would like to go. Now, this is great. Thanks, Ange. Now I want to go.
I know. Because let's talk about our travel topic of the week. I figured since Disney is our travel news, let's talk about the time we went on a Disney cruise. Now, this is going to blow your mind. It was 4 years ago that we went on our Disney cruise. It was the week COVID came to America and shut everything down. We were the last cruise out for a year, probably. It was a really surreal and kind of scary, weird, like you're having the best time ever on a Disney cruise. And they're like, and by the way, the whole world shut down. So when you get off, it's going to be like a zombie apocalypse. And it was. But the cruise was amazing. That was one way to go out in style.
The cruise was awesome. Yeah, it was a very strange, surreal time. However, while we were doing all the fun things, oh my gosh, who thought us adults, so it was us two and Ben, would have such a fun, wholesome time on a Disney cruise without children?
I almost didn't go. Do you remember that? I was like, because I was in California when I got the invitation, and I was like, ugh, I don't want to come back, like, blah, blah, blah. I happened to have brought my passport with me, which there was no reason for me to do it. Everything just worked out. And you were like, come on, what if we don't get to go again? Like, let's just go. And you were right. That was as prophet-like as you've ever been with that, because truly, that was it. That was the last cruise for months, if not a year, because of COVID. So I'm really, really glad we went. The downside was it was a media experience. And because the world ended when we got off, we couldn't actually cover it. And that's what we went there to do. You know, we took all this video and we were so excited, and it just really wasn't appropriate to share everything we would have shared. I was like, we're not going to like this without kids. I love Disney. I do. But it would be so much better if they had kid-free days, you know? And so I was like, if there's going to be kids all over this cruise, it's going to be so screamy and annoying. And it wasn't. It was awesome. We had the best time.
We had the best time. There were, there's a ton of activities for kids. Of course, it's a Disney cruise. But there are also activities for adults. We were on it for, why do I want to say 5 nights? That seems insane.
Oh, it was 5 nights. It was 5 nights. Yeah.
5. Yeah. Okay. 5 nights. And we did it was the Marvel cruise. So we had, there's theme nights. So you had a pirate night. We had a Marvel day at sea. We stopped in Key West and Nassau and Private Island. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It was 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, so everything's different.
Well, right. Everything got real weird after the pandemic with my memories. So when you said Key West, I'm like, we went to Key West. Well, we didn't get off.
We didn't get off. We've been to Key West. We're from Florida, so that wasn't a thing we needed to explore. Instead, we explored the ship that day. We did make a video about our experience. Again, it was like COVID announcements were happening, so there were so many weird things, and we've got a ton of beautiful photos. But again, we got off the boat and people had lost their jobs, and it was just weird. So there's so much we didn't share that now, is it even relevant because it's been 4 years? So things
they have
changed.
More ships now. Like, there are even more ships than there were then. They have 6 in the fleet now. They have a new island destination you can go to now. There's so much more. They have different kinds of days at sea. So we went for the Marvel day at sea, which as Marvel fans, incredible, like chef's kiss. We got to meet Groot, like full size, 8 foot tall, 10 foot tall Groot. Amazing. We got to have a dance party after hours, adults only, with, Quill and the whole, like the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was stupid fun. Like,
that was top 10 best nights of my life. Was that night, was having a dance party with Star-Lord on a cruise ship. It was so cool. And then people dressed up. We screwed that up. We should have dressed up, because I think every other adult knew to do that. We did not. Somebody was Fat Thor, which was awesome.
Incredible.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yes. I remember. Everybody was so into it. And I think because I was coming from far away and it was a last minute thing, we just didn't plan as much. I had like a Marvel t-shirt on, and I was like, this is not my usual effort. Like, I should be dressed. I should be going hard. Like, the costumes are kind of our thing. So they also have, I want to say, a Star Wars day at sea if you're a Star Wars person. So this isn't on every cruise. So you might pick one and the day at sea is Marvel, or you might pick one and the day at sea is Star Wars, or I don't know, Pixar, I don't know what other ones they have, but like if you're a fan of one of these ridiculous fandoms, oh, have I got the fun ship for you. Like, oh, so fun. And then there's movie nights. There's an actual movie theater on the ship, but then you can have outdoor movie nights and the parties. The nighttime fiestas on the deck. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's Disney and I should have expected more. Like I did not expect fireworks coming off of our ship. I didn't expect a stunt show. I didn't expect explosions and
the zip lining from one deck to the other.
So much stuff was happening. And we were we were no different than the kids in that we were looking up at everything wide-eyed, mouth open. The only thing different was probably that we were crying a little bit with everything because we were like, Disney magic, like childhood, you know, because we have all those moments of us at the castle when we were little and Jiminy Cricket saying his whole thing and when you wish upon a star comes up. It's just a whole thing, right? And the food and the restaurants, you're not just going to a restaurant.
You are going to an experience, a dining experience, and you're, at least on our cruise, like every night was a different restaurant that was themed and had its own magic.
It was all scheduled out. So we literally had different reservations every night at a different restaurant, all included. And it was truly, one was like a singing dinner show with Tangled and that whole cast. And that was hysterical and fun. And then another one, what was that? Like the artist's palette or the painter's palette, something like that. I won't tell you anything about it other than worth the price of admission to go have dinner there. It was, I'm glad nobody spoiled it for me and I just got to experience it because it was magical. Oh, it's incredible. Incredible.
Tony from Spain.
Oh, Tony from Spain. Oh my gosh, that guy. So Tony from Spain was the cruise director on our sailing. And afterwards, he's such a character. If you've ever met Tony from Spain, you know, he's a character. And people book his sailings repeatedly because he's so great. He's such a great cruise director. In fact, I'm sure all of the Disney cruise directors are amazing. You would have to be. But Tony from Spain is our guy. People bring him gifts, very specific gifts from all over the world when they come back. Rachel, tell them about the gifts.
They're rubber chickens. I don't know why, but and he takes them on everywhere he goes. He's bringing all of these rubber chickens, and he takes pictures of them around the ship.
He's got a cabin full of rubber chickens that passengers have brought him from all around the world. Anyway, he's awesome. One of those high energy people. Like you see him 24 hours a day somehow. And he's like at trivia and then he's in the pool and then he's leading a dance contest and he's everywhere. And it's just, makes me think what life could have been like if I was a cruise director in my 20s, because I sure can't do it now. Way too tired for that. But he crushes it. So really glad to see Tony from Spain back on the Disney cruise ships after COVID. That was very exciting to see everybody going back. And I love social media now where you can follow those folks and kind of take your trip with you forever.
Yeah. I think to really, to get the full picture of this specific cruise, we did make a vlog about it, so it's somewhere here. Watch it.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Really see our reaction because it was such a fun time. It is hard to describe a cruise. Like you have to see how we did it because it was just so fun.
Sometimes you're getting like spring break 1989, and that's the vibe. And if that's what you're going for, then that's great. Disney cruise, that's not what you're going for. And it was just so pleasant. Everybody was just so darling. And the little kids in their little outfits.
Yeah. Everything you're saying is right. It's all cute. It's all wholesome. I would just love to put a clip in right here of Angie doing shots at the club with Star-Lord. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Or I want you to watch the video. Only.
The kids had no idea that we were having a burn the house down party with Star-Lord and friends.
All right. However, even great trips have disasters. Dun, 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 dun. And we've already talked about it. It was COVID, which has nothing to do with Disney Cruise or Disney and everything to do with how crazy 2020 was. But as soon as we got off the boat, actually, I think it was the day we were in Nassau, we had gotten Wi-Fi. We had made it to, I think we were grabbing coffee, and on the news, it was saying like, hey, everything is shutting down for a few weeks. So just understand. And we were thinking, are we getting off this boat? And Ben had emailed his work, his job, and said, what's going on? And they said, just be prepared to work from home when you get back. And then it wasn't for 2 years. It was 2 years later he went back to the office. Which,
well,
wild.
in fact, the folks the media folks that were with us, they even said that. They were like, we never went back to the office after that sailing for years. And that's crazy to think about now. It's only 4 years out, but it's still really crazy to think that we all kind of went through that. And I distinctly remember we're in Nassau. We're like, should we go to the casino? Do you want to go to the casino? And we were like, maybe we shouldn't, because everybody's like touching everything. And I don't know, what about germs? Like, it was just an early thought process of that. So I didn't actually write a blog post about what the cruise was like, because I didn't want to write something that was not going to apply to the future. And, you know, I haven't been back on one of the Disney ships, so I actually don't know what's changed. But I remember getting off the ship, and I wrote this on my little update. I don't think I've ever been so sad to disembark a cruise. Stepping onto the gangway, it felt like going from vibrant color to black and white, like when Dorothy left Kansas and woke up in Oz, but in reverse. And that is what life felt like. And like, we went to get gas, and it was just weird. And it was just weird. It was a whole new world that we kind of stepped into. So we always think about that as our just incredible trip that landed us into a whole new world, you know? Never forget that.
That's deep, man. But accurate.
Yeah.
Travel tip. Hey, go on a Disney cruise. Have fun. There's too many things to do. Do not go on a cruise for 3 days. That's silly. Go on a cruise for 10 days.
That's a long time.
All right. Good stuff. Now I want to go on a cruise, but instead I'm just going to sit here and sweat in my house that doesn't have air conditioning. I'm watching Bridgerton. I'm watching The Boys. I'm watching House of the Dragon. I'm watching The Bear.
Oh, The Bear is out too?
Yes.
What are they trying to do to everybody? I don't need to watch most
guys,
of those.
I wasn't doing anything last month. I wasn't doing anything. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any huge plans. I have a lot of things coming up, so I'm prepping for a lot of things, like obviously Figcella that you're not invited to. I'm speaking at a conference next month, speaking at TBEX in Puerto Rico, so I'm getting my presentation in order, planning some travel campaigns for the end of the year. Rick's high school reunion is in Long Island in August, and I'm trying to figure out, like, in the Hamptons. So I'm trying to figure out how to go to the Hamptons in August without spending $11 million for 2 nights. I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, that's it. Just planning for the rest of the year, basically.
Cool.
Yeah, good times. So I didn't do an unhinged sign off. Did you?
Oh, I have one. Hey everyone, it's so hot. Goodbye. I'll be in the pool. That's mine.
That's pretty good. Okay. Thanks for being here again. Highly appreciate your support. This is how we're going to pay our bills for the rest of our lives. So tell a friend, subscribe, like, share with somebody. That would be most appreciated. And for my sign off, you know,
was that not your sign off?
When you no, that's like the boilerplate. That's the thing you have to say at the end, and then there's a sign off. Anyway, never mind. Bye. We love you.